This is another in a series of videos about my experience with various video game consoles. The N64 we didn't get right away, and I don't really have any memory of it in when we lived in San Antonio. We moved when I think I just turned 12. We moved at the end of '98, so the N64 had been out for a couple years, and we still had an NES or Super NES. I had friends. Uh, I know one friend in particular that seemed to have all the expensive Legos and all the expensive Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys had an N64, and our grandparents bought an N64 for their house for all their grandchildren to play on. And I definitely remember playing games on that before playing games at our house, but we got one eventually. So I kind of have like two different experiences with the N64. One is playing at my house with my brothers, and one is playing at grandparents' house with brothers and cousins. So I guess in a way I have like two different consoles I'm talking about, right? The N64 at our house had like Mario. Well, did it have Mario Kart? I think it had Mario Kart. We didn't play it as much though. It had Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda. It had Donkey Kong 64. It had Wave Race eventually. It had some multiplayer games, but also some single player games. Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, stuff like that. Um, our grandparents' house definitely had multiplayer games and wrestling games. Multiplayer, sports, wrestling games. My cousin was a little bit of a more sports person than I was. Sometimes we would be playing like Mario Golf and stuff like that. I wasn't the biggest fan of Mario Golf, and there were a lot of other games I'd rather be playing, but it was fine. There's also this weird game that was like anime style that involved a heroine that like shook things, like she grabbed and shook things, and that was part of the platforming thing. And I cannot for the life of me remember what that thing was called. But if you know what it is, just type it in. I'll probably look for it later. But that one was a weird one. It was single player. Wasn't really into it, but that was a place we were playing Mario 64 for the first time. We played a whole bunch of Mario Kart, a whole bunch of Smash Brothers, whole bunch of WCW versus NWO Revenge, which obviously the best wrestling video game of all time, but it was super fun and multiplayer, and we always liked being the I guess Rey Mysterio Ultimo or Ultimo Dragon, I think. All the characters that could bounce off of stuff was definitely what we did. We would play like the 30-man, basically Royal Rumble thing where you'd have to play till the end. But if you got pinned, sometimes you had to come back as like a really crappy character you didn't want. Sometimes you would like try to lose just to get a character you liked more. But we played a whole bunch of N64 up in my grandparents' attic, second story. Like we probably went up there a little too fast or played that a little too much when we got to Grandma and Grandpa's house. But it was not the only thing we did. We swear. Now, the N64 was my second console, but it was definitely like my brother, who is 6 years younger than me, and definitely a different console generation. It was definitely his like console. That was the one that he and his friends in high school were definitely more attached to. As they grew older, it was more of the retro system, but they definitely enjoyed that. I think just the fact that the N64 was such a multiplayer system with all those games, with GoldenEye and Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and all that stuff, it just made it fun to play with other people. I think there was like some infamous picture they have where they're like playing it at our local park somehow. I don't know if it's like attached to their car or something. They're like playing it in the parking lot for whatever reason, and it's just definitely my brother's system. Absolutely is my brother's system.